Hello, I am your professor for beginning Biblical Hebrew this year. My name is Denise Flanders, and what I want to do is before our first class just give you a little introduction to the Hebrew alphabet. On our first day we're going to talk about Biblical Hebrew and what the difference is between it and modern Hebrew, and we're also going to talk about the alphabet. But the faster that we can familiarize ourselves with the alphabet and get a good solid grounding in it, the better. Because, of course, the alphabet is the building block for what we're going to do for everything in this course. So we want to learn it and learn it quickly in the beginning and learn it well. So what you're going to need as you follow along with me right now for the next few minutes is your textbook, your Grammar for Biblical Hebrew by Leong Seao. I'll refer to this book as just by his name, Seao, a lot of times. And you want to be on page 1 of that book. And then also maybe a notebook, your blue book, so that you can practice writing the letters as we go along if you want to. So grab both of those things before we get started. Okay, so flip to page 1 in your Seao textbook. It says Lesson 1 at the top, and then it says the alphabet. That's where I want you to be. And basically, I'm just going to talk you through this Hebrew alphabet. All right, so we're there, and at the top he notes the Hebrew alphabet consists only of consonants. So there's 23 letters in the Hebrew alphabet, all consonants. There are vowels in Hebrew, but they're written differently, and we'll talk about those later. Right now we're just going to focus on the consonantal alphabet. So the very first letter is under sign, and it's an Aleph. So he has sign, and then he has the Hebrew letter Aleph, and then name, he's written Aleph there. So that's the name of the letter. And the pronunciation of Aleph is basically it's silent. It's kind of like a silent H. So H in the English word heir or honor. You don't pronounce the H there, but all you hear is the vowel that follows the H. And so that's the same with Aleph. You don't hear an Aleph. What you hear is the vowel that follows. And the way Aleph is written, and so I guess watch the strokes and then practice yourself on your notebook so you can kind of, start putting all your senses together, listening, seeing, writing. Okay, so what I'm drawing here is this sign here for Aleph. And so it's a diagonal a diagonal line, and then like a curve and another curve. Yeah? Again, diagonal letter, diagonal line, curve, curve. So that's how we do an Aleph. It's not quite long enough. Okay. And then this third column here that I kind of jumped over is Seao has written translit, period. And that's short for transliteration. Basically what this column is this is how you would write the Hebrew letter in Roman characters. So you could write it in English. So if you didn't have a Hebrew font, let's say, on your computer, or you're writing in a book where you don't want to write Hebrew, a way to represent the Hebrew character Aleph is with this little, in this case the transliteration for Aleph is basically an apostrophe. That's what it looks like. We'll talk about transliteration more later. Okay, so our second letter here is bait, or bet. And what you'll notice is that there's actually 2 baits on the page. So the first one in the column has a dot in the middle, and the second one does not. This is the same letter. What the dot is doing is changing the pronunciation of the letter. So there are 6 letters in Hebrew that classically, if they had this dot in the middle of them, and the technical name of the dot is dagesh, it just changed the pronunciation of the letter. So Seao here is giving you one letter, but just giving you the 2 different pronunciations. So bait, if it has the dagesh, or the dot in the middle, has a hard sound, b, ba. This is the English ba, b. And if it doesn't have the dagesh, it's a soft sound. It's a va sound, like v in van or something. So the bait is written kind of like an upside down capital J. So like if you did the curve of the J and then the top there. So once again, do like the curve and then the top, or it kind of looks like a hangman game. So that's your bait. Or your ba or your va. Third letter is gimel, and once again you have this twice because in classical Hebrew pronunciation the dagesh in the middle would have changed the sound of the gimel. The thing is that now in modern Hebrew there's really no difference in the pronunciation, so we won't really distinguish the pronunciation in class. We're going to kind of go with modern Hebrew pronunciation in class. So whether you have a dagesh or not, gimel is g. It's the English G sound, but never a J sound. Always a hard G. G as in God or as in dog. So let's write that out and see how that's written. Curve, and then an angled line down like that. So it's a shorter curve, and then an angled line down like that. Okay, next letter is dalet. Dalet, this is the English D sound. And again, this letter classically would change pronunciation in Hebrew. With the dagesh, it would be the hard D as in day. Without it, more like a the sound. But in modern pronunciation, it's just D, duh, all the time. So we'll just go with that. We're not going to distinguish the sound. Okay, so writing a dalet, you have a horizontal line here, and then I kind of curve it down back like that. So just make sure that you have it kind of an extra. You don't have to curve it. You could just do it like this. You want a little bit of extra line hanging over the vertical line. Sorry, that's kind of erasing. But okay, so horizontal line and then line coming down. But you need this little extra part here on the side. It's not like an even L. It hangs over a little bit. So this and then that for dalet. Next letter is hey. Hey, and this is the H, the English H, the ch sound. This is pretty easy to draw. You start with your vertical line down. This marker is not awesome. And then you leave a space here for a horizontal line and then another vertical line. So it's a boxy letter. But what's important is leaving this space here between this vertical line and this horizontal line. And the reason is because there's another letter where that joins. So you need to be able to distinguish between this letter and the other letter that we'll see, hate. Okay, so again, vertical line down, and then horizontal and down. Kind of like that. Next letter is vav. Vav. Seo has it written as wow. You might also hear it referred to by some people who learned Hebrew maybe a few years ago or a long time ago as a wow. So in classical Hebrew pronunciation, it would have been the W sound, the W sound. But in modern Hebrew today, it sounds more like a V, a V. So we're going to use that, and that's very common to use modern pronunciation. So don't think I'm teaching you anything incorrect. So we'll refer to it as a vav, vav, and it's pronounced V. English V sound. Okay. And the way it is written is like you can write it just as a line, like this. That's just like an I basically, or a lowercase l. But it usually has a little tittle here, there. So it kind of looks like this. So a little angled thing there, and then a vertical line down like that. That's your vav. Next letter is Zion. Zion. So now we're about a third of the way down this page 1, the alphabet page in the Seo textbook. And this is the English Z, so the Z sound. And the Zion is a little bit like a Vav in its writing, so I'm going to leave this Vav up. Okay, so I'll go down here. For the Zion, you have an angled line, but the end here goes past the vertical line that you see. So that's important. That's how you're going to differentiate a vav and a zayin. So again, angled line, and then straight line up and down. My marker is running a little bit low, so that's not great. But angled line down, and then vertical line. So just notice that it hangs off there a little bit. Next letter is hate, and you'll notice I'm trying to do like this throaty, coughy sound, and that's kind of the difference between the het, which is just a soft H, and then the hate is more, I don't know, phlegmy or something. So like Seah tells you, it kind of sounds like the CH in Bach, so it's like to be honest, in pronunciation, sometimes it's hard to distinguish, and when I say it, a lot of times it comes off sounding more just like an H, but really like a H, but it really is more throaty than that. So this is a H sound, if you want to practice that. And this is a letter that I was talking about that is like the hey in the way it's written, but that the box connects. So you're going to do a vertical line. Oh man, this is horrible. And then over and down. Can we see that? No, not really. Yeah, that's not good. Anyway, yeah, that's bad. Okay, let me pause here and see if I can get a better marker.